So let's warm up with those jigs, the 100 pipers, and what do you call it there? What did we do with 100 pipers? I had it here. Let's see. We were doing 100 pipers.
Oh, Irishman's.
Irishman's Heart to the Ladies. Oh, I love that tune. That's great. Geez, talking about Irishman, we had a great weekend, Chris Lang and weekend of Irish Pipers. And apparently on the Friday night in the front room, I wasn't there for the Friday night because I had a gig, but in the front room there was about 18 pipers. Varying levels, apparently. It was pretty squawky. One of my students was like, "You wouldn't believe the noise." He was like, "It's just so loud." And it's true, even the uilleann pipes, like when you get a bunch of them together like that, it's very loud. Okay, so Irishman's Heart to the Ladies and the 100 pipers. But let's warm up our A major, and we'll do some. We'll do a scale, we'll do arpeggio, and a couple double stops. The double stops seem to be making the big difference with people these days. Not only with intonation, but also with making tunes easier to play by putting one finger on two strings. Okay. So let's do a little A major scale and arpeggio. Here's your A. Okay, ready, go. I bowled a perfect game. Pretty well everyone, bang on, and in the middle too. Now that's a fluke, because that's like, it only happens once in a while, you know? You know that old saying, a stop clock is right twice a day, which is absolutely true. I said that the other day and my boy said, yeah, but a clock that's 1 second slow is never going to be right. I have to agree. He is right. Okay, let's do it again. See if my perfect game was a fluke. Ready, go. quite as good. G sharp and C sharp took a little bit more pressure. But anyway, not too bad. How are you guys doing? How'd you do with that? Decent? All right. Now let's try up in the game. So let's go faster. Like this. I'm making my kids up in Moosonee do their scales faster. It's quite funny because one of them did think it was a race and was very happy when she was finished first. Okay, so like this. 1, 2, 3, go. Ooh, I did pretty good. Now you guys still good? Still within the realm of in tune? Okay, so now let's try some double stops. So let's see, what bowing pattern should we do with today? Let's do this one. Where we so down, up, up, stopping the bow in the middle. Nice clean stop. Ready, go. Next one. Okay, everybody understand what's going on? I was trying to figure it out as I went along there myself. Well, let me see. I think I have it written down which ones we're doing. There's so many choices. A major. Let's see. Double stops. Here we are. Okay, so we got the fifth. Oh, and then we got this one here. So that's D1, G3. I missed that one. And then it's the D1 open A. And then it's the open A, open E. A2 open E. Octave. Open. 2. Open. 1. D3, G3. Okay, that's better. Alright, let's try it again. So I like that bowing pattern. Let's do it again. I found a few challenges with the bowing pattern and the double stops. So stopping the bow is a little bit more work on a double stop than it is on a single string. So a little bit more of the shock absorbers are required, especially when you start up again. Okay, so pay attention to that. Let's try it again. Ready, go. Another one. Next one. Next one. Next one. Next one. octave. Next one. Third. Next one. Woo! That was cool. I love the sound of the double stops in the key of A. Really, really nice. Gets the whole fiddle rattling. Now, how did we get along? Any problems or questions or queries or concerns or complaints about the double stops? Anything working or not working? Yes.
On the octaves, Dan, A and A, you were giving us a tip to play the C sharp with the high A, as opposed
Also,
to
yes, that's nice to do as well.
as well, or maybe in replacement of.
In replacement of, or it's just another option. I mean, there's many options in the key of A, like, and that you can do that same thing. Like for instance, when you play A2 and open E together, that's a C and E. You can flip it over, play the E on the bottom. So it's just another option. So, and the nice thing is about all these double stops is that you could play them all at the same time and it would sound lovely.
Okay, all right, very good.
Yeah. And so it's fun to try out that as well. You could do the first bowing pattern, you could do the opens, second one or the octave, second one you could do the I think that's a third. Is it? No, a sixth. Sixth. It's the sixth, which is a handy one. Good question though. Anybody else? Should we try one more guy? One more try? Maybe let's do these ones. A little bit of that. Feather bowing, as they put it. You having trouble finding mute there, Astrid? I'll get you. There you go. So a little bit of this. I'm going to try to be as gentle as I can, not get in the way. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, that's an A chord, by the way. So when you have the one finger on both on the G and the D, and you play the A and the E as well, you get kind of an open A chord. I call it the Tim Burton chord. Beetlejuice. Oh, there, Astrid just left the meeting, I think by accident. All right, so let's get on with these jigs. Irishman's Heart to the ladies. There we go. And the 100 Pipers. I just got a message from Jen that Sylvia's piano teacher had a triple bypass. He's doing okay, but he's in the hospital. That's not very good news. Okay. Oh, shoot. Just one second, I get the Irishman's Heart up here. Here it is. Okay. Now let's see. I think last time, I'm trying to think of how fast we were getting last time. And I'm wondering if it was about like this. Do you think we got that fast? Okay, let's start there. See if we can go up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. everybody was playing the whole time. That's extremely good sign. And let's see what the speed was like. Dee day dee day dee day day dee day dee day dee day da. So that's 63, people. 63 is the speed of that. Oh, whoops.
Hey, Dan,
Yes.
on January 20th,
Yes.
2023, we were just under the 85 tempo.
Well, okay. Let's do it.
I have it written down here randomly.
Amazing, amazing. Now the thing is we've strengthened it a lot since then. So I think that if we go at 85, that should be awesome. So it was 85, eh? Wow, nice. Let's see. Dee diddle dee diddle dee diddle dee die dee diddle dee diddle dee diddle dee da. Let's do it. Now I'm gonna put it on my phone because the strangest thing with my tunable on the computer, the light does not coincide with the blink at all for some reason on the metronome. I don't know why. So I have to put it on my phone. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's do it. 85. Oops. No, I did not want to do that. What's going on? There. There we go. Okay. And 2 times each is just fine. And I hope you're trying out a few of those double stops we practiced, because I was noticing how many opportunities there are in this tune to get a few of those in. Both tunes, really. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That's another way to make an A chord. So you got the first finger on the two low strings, and then you got the second finger on the A string, and the third finger on the E string. So 3 fingers, A chord. Kind of fun, if you're into that type of thing. Now, how did we get along at 85? Any problems?
Really hard to do double stops at that speed.
What happens when you try?
Oh, it's just mushy
Mushy.
and scratchy. Because I try too hard and it scratches.
Yeah. Now that's actually that makes that you make a good point there. And one thing to remind yourself of when you're doing double stops is you don't have to try at all, right? You just got to angle the bow right. So and that's a good sign. So if it's mushy, means you're pushing on it. Yeah. Anybody else have any comments about 85? No? Okay, let's get on with the reels. And that's going to be I can't remember. Silver Spear? Was it Silver Spear? Silver Spear and is it Made Behind the Bar? I can't remember. Jenny Dang the Weaver, yeah. Okay, Jenny Dang the Weaver and the Silver Spear. Okay, so Jenny Dang the Weaver and the Silver Spear. Silver Spear. You know, I always thought that the Silver Spear must have been a reference to like some very fancy spear that would have been awarded to the best warrior or whatever. And when I did some research, well, I watched this documentary called I can't remember what it's called. What is it from? I can't remember, but anyway, it's about metal, and it was done in the 80s, I think, and it's all this evolution of metal, and they were talking about how at a certain time in history, the silver was easier to find and work than iron. Iron was really hard to work at first. They couldn't melt it. They couldn't go hot enough to melt it, but they could melt silver. And so they made stuff out of silver, but the problem was that it didn't hold up near as good as iron. The edge would dull really quickly with silver. So as it turns out, the Silver Spear was probably a pain in the arse. Not the prized one. But you never know. You never know about these things. Okay, so which one should we do first? I think we should do Jenny Dang the Weaver first. And then the Silver Spear. So let's do that. Okay. Now, let's go not too fast to start with. Somewhere about there, okay? And let's just plod through them, and we'll do 2 times each. 1, 2, 3, go. The cheap spear. All right, how'd you guys do with that speed? Let's see what it was. What that speed was. It's about 60. Any problems? No? Oh, good.
The first half of the silver spear was a little dusty.
Okay, yeah. Watch out for the bowing there. You got to do an up. After the
So I'm
cut.
assuming you're, hold on. So that's, oh,
So basically the way after you play the A cut, like the digga on the A string,
yep.
the next two notes you want to play in an up bow.
Yeah, I have that marked in, and I guess I wasn't doing that.
It's hard to see if you're not really doing so. So it starts on the down. So it's down, up, down, up, down.
All three of those notes should be at up.
No, just two. The B and the A. Watch this. Watch. Yeah. So the B and the A. Yes, that's it there. Now, I can see that it's tough to get in there. Yeah, that's good there. If you do that every time, you can get through the first part a lot easier. If you can do it every time. There's 3 of them that you have to do, okay? We'll try it again. Yes, Astrid.
String crossing on Jenny Dang, the last line, or anywhere there's the E string to the D string. For example, the second last bar, I find that I make it very, I don't know, somehow my fingers aren't pressing down hard enough, or because it comes out blurry and unclear. So do you have any tips?
Yeah, so it could be the pressing down hard enough thing, because when you don't have the good finger down, it kind of has that sound. It's like it's like a flat sound, and it's flat as well. So, the fingers, but also with string crossing. So when I'm playing on the A and the E, it's barely even a string crossing. See that? Very little. Because the thing is about the A and the E, it's different from the other combinations of strings where the E is so low compared to the other strings. All you got, and when you're on the A, just the up bow itself will put you over to the E. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so see if you can do it with less work. The other problem is, well, that's not a problem, that's an advantage. But the problem with the AE double string crossing is that if you put any amount of weight that you would normally put on the A string to the E string, it's going to be too much.
Okay.
So you got to really lighten up on it. And this part of the bow, if possible.
The mid part of the bow.
Upper mid.
Upper mid. Okay.
Upper mid.
Okay. So just a little bit more practice and get a better feel for it.
Less movement.
Okay.
And go at the right part of the bow, and see if you can let the bow direction do the string changing for you for the most part. And that's why it's important to start on a down for that part, for the whole second part actually. And there is one up in there after the E. So you got to do that too.
Oh, right. I see that. Yeah.
That will help because if you're doing it going the other way, it's going to be very squishy.
Okay. Thank you.
Unless you're Yasha Heifetz. He probably could do it. But... Okay, let's try it again.
Can you put my audio off,
Yeah,
please?
no problem.
Thanks.
There. Okay, here we go. One more time. Okay, so we're going to up it a little bit. That's probably about 60. So let's go even a little bit quicker than that. Deetin diddly day, deetin diddly day. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Survivors? How did it go? That was 66. Tell me about your experience at 66. Did anything go right? Did anything go wrong?
Jenny Dang was a super good challenge, and then Silver Spear was outside of my realm. That'll be the next step.
Now, chances are with the Silver Spear, if 66 was out of your realm, it's the bowing. So when you're practicing it, if you make sure you get those ups in there, you will be able to go through it at 80 or 66. You know what I mean? Because the thing is with the Silver Spear, it's so repetitive. If you get backwards going for the next phrase, it's really hard. And then you'd be regular for the phrase after that, and then backwards again. So it makes it really hard to go fast. So I bet you any money that's the culprit. Okay? Anybody else have thoughts about 66? Route 66?
It was a little on the fast side for me, particularly on the Silver Spear,
Yeah.
but also on the Jenny Dang. I was trying to do the bow, the change in the bow area, and so I was thinking too much again. So it
There
wasn't.
is that. Now, did I tell you guys about the string changing exercise that I find so useful for fiddle music? And I'm not sure if I told you guys about it, but I'm sure I did it one time. Down on the G, up on the A. No sound on the string between. Down on the G, up on the A.
Can you take my mute or mute me,
Yeah,
please?
no problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, so down on the G, up on the A. No arm. Only hand. If you can. You can see how what I look like. G string, A string. G string, A string. G string. See that? And then down on the D, up on the E. Okay, those two things are really useful for changing strings. You get to know how to be nimble and do it with your hand rather than swinging the arm back and forth. And also, it basically what it forces you to do is to not drag the bow over to the next string. You know, it makes you do it carefully. See that? And then you can control. You have control over it. Okay, so that's a really good exercise for string changing. Okay, now I'm thinking about next time, and I would like to do a Straspe. And I have one in mind, and I just got to look it up. I think it's been a while since we did a Straspe. And I think they are very, very important to do in life. Okay, Cameron's got his wife again. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a great tune. So this tune is called Cameron's Got His Wife Again. Very, very common tune. Okay, let me just play it for you. I'll send you guys a copy of it. Great old tune. Jeez, I haven't played that since I was a kid. Now the thing is, the reason I'm thinking this is a good tune to do is, first of all, we do need to do some Strasbass. It's always good to have them under your belt. But also the bowing and the repetition. So you'll see that there's lots of repetition in the tune and lots of cuts. So it means that you can kind of gear your bowings so that you do every phrase exactly the same way. Just send it to you. Oh, whoops.
Dan, we should have it. We got it in May of 2024.
Oh, we did do it before. Okay.
Oh,
Well, I'll send it
yeah.
anyway.
Okay.
Since we're not killing any trees, I'll send it anyway. Can't remember where I was the other day, and the guy was like, "Do you want a copy of this and this and this and this?" Where what I was buying, and I was like, "Let's just leave the trees alone." Okay. So Cameron's got his wife again. So just take a look at it while I'm playing it here, and get a sense of what happens. tune. He sounds pretty happy to have his wife back. Some of the tunes, they're not always happy about it. Anyway, so you can see there that the bowing is very simple. So for instance, the first part, the whole first part there, I'm not even doing any slurs, except for the triplets. And all the triplets that you see in this tune are going to be on an up bow. And so it makes it kind of predictable. So down, up, diggity, up, down, up, diggity, up, down, up. See that? It's very, very predictable. The second part, so and now that you see that triplet in the middle of the second part. I don't really like that triplet. It seems really stupid and hard to do. So what I would do is take out the A in the middle so that it's just 2 eighth notes, B and then G. And you're going to do those in an up bow. That's going to be an up bow. And then we got the same phrase. So there again, the end of the second line, D to G, up bow. Okay? And then we got so da, and that actually the eighth note rest after the B in the last line, that kind of lets you turn your bow around. So that means you start the next run on a down bow. Okay, and that's how you're going to get through that tune. So very simple, very, very simple bowing, just a few elements. And I think when you're trying to get these elements, especially the up things under your arm, it's good to have that repetition, that predictability, to do it over and over and over. Okay, so we will work on that next week, and we're going to put it in front of the reels. What do you call it there? The Silver Spear and Jenny Dang the Wheel. Let me see if it goes. I think it does. So. So. That's going to work great. Awesome. And just like in the Cape Breton style, it's going to be all in the same key. Just hunky-dory.
You sent a copy to us, did you, Dan?
I did, yes. I sent a copy. And it's a good one, except for that one change I mentioned there in the middle of the second line. But otherwise, she's good to go.
Great. You don't mind sending me a tape of
yes, I'll just double check. I'm pretty sure it's already on the YouTube channel, but I'll double check and I'll send you a link.
All right. That sounds great. Thanks.
All right, guys. Great class. We'll see you next Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.